Today's country and your all-time favorites, 95.1 The Bull. Our community conversation this morning brought to you by Floyd County Medical Center, fcmc.us.com. Joining me in the bullpen with me this morning, Iowa State Patrol Trooper Tom Williams joining us. Tom, thanks for joining me this morning.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you as well. How was Labor Day weekend for you?
Well, for me, it was good because I was off. But
I know you did mention that last conversation, so that was a nice change of pace for you. So
no, but it was busy around the state for us troopers.
Yeah, let's just kind of dive right into some of the results from over Labor Day weekend. I know you guys were hot on pursuit, all about the state of Iowa.
Yep. So over the Labor Day, we had a OMVI or operating motor vehicle while impaired project, and all this data is collected actually by the Department of Public Safety in Texas. They gather all the information across the country and put it into a database. But for Iowa, from August 30th to September 2nd, we targeted impaired drivers and, of course, other violations. And on U.S. and state highways in Iowa, we had a total of 33 crashes. 12 of them were personal injury crashes and 2 fatalities.
Yeah, we had one that wasn't too far off in our area as well.
Right.
That happened over that weekend.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Enforcement wise, there were just over 3,500 traffic stops. 16 involved or resulted in OWIs, or operating while intoxicated. We had just over 2,000 speed violations, about 260 occupant restraint violations, 24 distracted drivers, 156 felony arrests. We assisted about 140 motorists that were stranded, broke down. A total of just over 2,800 citations and just over 3,000 written warnings.
So again, those numbers are just one too many, especially like the higher numbers on that for the traffic stops and citations and warnings. Is just one more reason we always talk about, be aware of your surroundings. Always have designated driver if you're going to embellish on the weekend, and it's a ridiculous number.
It is
what we're trying to get to.
Just like you said, be aware of your surroundings. Be what I tell my driver's ed kids. Your head needs to be on a swivel. You need to be looking, and not just looking, but you need to see what you're looking at. Right. I was stopped earlier today. I was asked what the speed that somebody wasn't from here. I was asked what the speed limits were on the highway because there's no signs. There are signs. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to, again, not only look, see what we're looking at. So anyway.
We're speaking with Iowa State Trooper Tom Williams joining us here on the Morning Roundup, 95.1 The Bull. Now, compared to some of the data that you've had over the past 4 years of crash, speed-related impaired driving, how is that compared to the past few years here?
So from 2021 to 2024, just in Area C, so District 8, which includes Howard, Chickasaw, Mitchell, Floyd, Worth, Cerro Gordo, Winnebago, and Hancock counties. So 8 counties is Area C, or not Area C, but District 8. Okay. This is just crash data from 21 to 2024, or so 2024 obviously isn't over yet, but I find some of this stuff interesting. So the severity of these crashes, most of them are just property damage only crashes, right? There's some that are like that the property damage made up almost 58% of all crashes in that time frame. So that doesn't include your injury accidents, your fatal accidents. So the majority of our crashes are just property damage. 48% or 45% of those accidents or crashes are speed related. So people need to slow down.
That's just the bottom line, and we've said it time and time again. And it's easier to have that lead foot when it comes to out in the open country highways. There,
It is. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just some other interesting facts on these graphs is time of day. Obviously, 7 in the morning, about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. People are going to work. People are coming home from work. Okay. 57%, almost 58% of the time it's during daylight hours. So it's, higher visibility time of day. Thursdays and Fridays seem to be the day of the week where most of these crashes occur. Just trying to.
So I mean, basically, that bottom line, like we said, is that we've said this time and time again, slow down.
Yeah, slow down.
And, to take those options that you've given us over the past couple of months,
Yes.
like also distracted driving.
I was just going to get into that. Don't drive distracted. Other details for these crashes, time or weather conditions, 55% of the time, the weather's clear like it is right now. Road conditions, a very high majority, there's no apparent issues with the roads. Major causes, people just ran off the road for whatever reason. Distracted driving is an issue. Driving too fast for conditions is another major issue. For whatever reason, they lose control. And again, a lot of these, you could have more than one at the same time. They're going to pick one or two, right? Distracted driving causes them to run off the road or whatever. But following too close is a major issue. I had a vehicle, high rate of speed, come up behind me when I was working the other day on the highway, just out of nowhere. But people, they're distracted. They lose track of what their speed is, and all of a sudden they're in an accident because they rear-end somebody.
Keeping in mind with those violations there, what do you say is like the average for those violations, those fines, with or without insurance? What do you kind of factor in with that? In case people want to know, it's like, okay, what, depending on the severity of the situation, what am I looking at?
Yeah. So a 10 over speed is $118. That's court costs. That's everything. Now, if you throw in no insurance, just no insurance ticket, let's see, it's right tipping like $400.
Oof.
And if it's accident related, it's over $900. If you're involved in an accident and you don't have insurance, about $900 or just over.
There goes your rent money right there, out the door. Crazy. Iowa State Trooper Tom Williams joining us here on the Morning Roundup 95.1 The Bull. One thing we definitely want to mention too is something that has been part of Iowa law. At least I've been aware of it ever since been in the state of Iowa for a number of years. Is that move over law? Could you embellish a little bit on that?
So I was speaking with a trooper this morning, and he actually, and this is a problem, and he wanted me to mention because it is a problem. We have a move over law in Iowa that requires you, upon approach to a stationary emergency vehicle with its lights on, whether it's a police car, whether that's a trooper, deputy, city, whether it's an ambulance, fire truck, tow truck, whatever. If you're approaching that vehicle, and you need to slow down, and if you can, move over. And not always can you move over, but you can slow down. But again, that comes down to being aware of your surroundings and having your head on a swivel and be looking and seeing that up ahead and say, oh, I got to slow down. There's flashing lights up here. And even if it's the mailman or a grandma and grandpa with their hazards on, right? This also includes if you see lights on a moving vehicle, you need to yield to that emergency vehicle. When we're stopping cars, I had this happen yesterday and lately several times. I had my lights on trying to stop somebody. They're not moving over. Well, I didn't know you were stopping me. It doesn't matter.
No.
If my lights are on, you need to yield to me, move over.
Mm-hmm.
So whether we're stationary or not, if you see the lights, please just move over and slow down.
And something to also kind of factor in along with that is, as you say, move over, yield to vehicles, especially with school buses. This is something we touched base on last year around this time, going back to school, and yet we still see a problem with this.
Yeah.
The school bus violations.
The school bus violation, I don't know why this is such an issue, but it is a terrible problem for whatever reason. The first week of school, I investigated 4. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
2 were in the same school district. 1 was locally, and they're all right around here, right in this area. During the morning hours and the afternoon hours during the week, you need to expect that there are going to be school buses on the roadway. And if you see them, your antennas should be going sky high and anticipate that school bus is going to be stopping.
When that arm is out, you stop.
Correct. And we've talked about this before, but when you're meeting a school bus head to head, you are allowed to pass the school bus if the yellow amber lights are flashing, provided you're at 20 miles an hour or under. When the stop arm comes out, the red lights are on, you cannot pass that school bus. When you are behind the school bus, coming up from behind, it doesn't matter what lights are on. If the yellow lights are flashing or the red lights and stop on, you cannot pass the school bus. So,
best advice right there from Iowa State Trooper Tom Williams here on the Morning Roundup. 95.1 The Bull. Well, let's get into some more positive things. You guys are currently in the process of recruiting.
We are
right now.
Yes, we have. There's the process for certified officers is going on right now. So, and there's a current academy going on right now for the non-certified class. Application process, I think, just ended for the certified officers. So if you are already certified, you're already in law enforcement somewhere else with a county or city or whatever, that process has just ended, or the application process. So they're going through that. January, I think it's January 17th, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it's in January. The application process for non-certified applicants will open up. So if anybody is out there that is interested in becoming a trooper or with the state patrol, and not currently certified as a law enforcement officer somewhere else, that application process opens up in January. It is an extensive, it's a 10-step process. It takes about 6 months from the time you start the process until the time the academy starts. So it's a lengthy, stressful process, but I will say that it's worth it.
So if people are interested, how can we go about finding out that information?
So you would go to www.dpscareers.com, dpscareers.com, and that will have the 10-step process there. But basically, you start out by just filling out the application and questionnaire online and submit that. Then you'll get notification from our application coordinator in Des Moines. Then that would say whether you're going to move on to the next phase or not. And then you would have just correspondence with our application coordinator from there on as far as your progression in the process.
All right, very good. Finally, Tom, let's talk about, I know last week you sent me a little fun, humorous video of a challenge with firefighter Mason City, if I'm not mistaken. Last on the 4th, the District 8 blood drive. How did that go?
Yes, so we had a blood drive, Life Serve had a blood drive at Post 8 on September 4th. We had a little challenge between the state patrol and the Mason City Fire Department to see who could get the most people in there. Law enforcement won, by the way. We had,
good job.
It was 14-6. But anyway, yeah, it was a good turnout. We had sounded like they had 25 registered donors. So 26 units collected. So each pint of blood saves 3 lives. So that was up to 78 lives, potentially lives saved or at least sustained. So that was good.
Yes, and going back to that video, I had a good Reno 911 chuckle kind of vibe when I saw that. So I thought that was good. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Tom Williams here.
It only took 28 takes.
That's all right. That's all right. You did good. You did good. Tom Williams joining us here on the Morning Roundup 95.1 The Bull. More information. How can we get a hold of you?
You can contact me at our District 8 office in Mason City, or you can follow us on Iowa State Patrol Facebook page, or get a hold of me, or look me up, or follow me on X at Trooper209. So.
All right, very good. Well, Tom, thanks a lot for joining us here on behalf of the Iowa State Patrol, and we look forward to talk with you again here soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
You bet. Tom Williams joining us here on the Morning Roundup 95.1 The Bull from Iowa State Patrol, brought to you by Floyd County Medical Center, fcmc.us.com.